Hi, everybody. It's Christy-Faith. Hi. How is everyone today? Hello. Hi, Maylily. Hello, Instagram. Hello, Joel Doozy. Look at all you Instagrammers. You're coming in faster than TikTok right now. Hi, TikTok. It's Christy-Faith. Hi, YouTube. Hi, Instagram. And hi, Facebook. I am Christy-Faith. And I am here to talk all about homeschooling, education, your kids, questions about homeschooling. Are you on the fence about homeschooling? Having any educational problems in the schools right now with your kid? I can also help with that. I did that for a very long time. Welcome, everybody. I'm glad you're here. Here, this is my lotion. I'll just seal that up. I don't want it to dry out. Hi, everybody. Come on in. Tell me who you are, how many kids you have. Hello, Megan Caruso. Hello. It's so great to see everybody. Yay. I've been looking forward to tonight all day, going live with you guys. And I want you to come on in and let me know, are you on the fence about homeschooling? Are you currently homeschooling? If you are, I want to know where you live, how many kids you have, and I want you to tell me a homeschool win that you had, like maybe last week or something. I know it's only Monday. Did you have a hard Monday or was it a good Monday? We had a busy Monday and we're live tonight because all of our kids are at theater and having a really good time. And we're like, this is perfect to go live. So yay, welcome. Come on in, everybody. Ask me your questions about homeschooling. Whoa, TikTok just blew up. Welcome, TikTok. Let's start talking about homeschooling. That's quite a few people that I see right there. Sheesh. Welcome. I'm so glad you guys are here tonight. Please come ask your homeschooling questions. I have some books that I think you guys should read. You know what is a really good book that even if you're not a homeschooler, you need to have in your library? It's this one. Sorry, I'm disappearing here. Do you guys have this book? It's so good. 1001 children's books you must read before you grow up. This thing is thick, but it's really pretty. So it's full color. And like here, I have the Christmas Carol. I have that bookmarked. But look, it's full color, and it gives you a synopsis of the book. It gives you the age group that you are looking at for each title. This is a key for any home. If you love reading out loud to your children, you need to grab this. I don't even know if it's on my Amazon page. I don't think it is, but just grab it. If your kids are in school and you want them to read the great works, just use this as your guide. It's a really fabulous resource. Welcome. Come on in. Hi. Hello. Hi, Lacey. Oh, my friends are here. Yay. I have some ladies that are in my membership that just joined. Welcome. Yes.
Over on Instagram, Mom of
Hi.
Two, wanting to homeschool, scared to take this step. Work from home, and my
Yes.
husband also works out of the home.
Oh, yeah, you sound like us. Scott and I both work from home, and you want to homeschool and you're scared to take the step. You know, if you work from home and you have flexible hours, depending on your age of kids, if you have really little kids and you need to work, someone has to watch the little kids. But, if your kids are a little bit older and you have them on, make sure to buy Open and Go curriculum. Make sure that with your older kids, you can start enrolling them in some really nice online live classes where that's a really cool way to get community. People often say virtual doesn't replace in-person community. Absolutely true. But you know what we have found as a plus to having virtual community is my kids have friends all over the world and with a lot of diversity. And I really like that. Whereas maybe, the local homeschool co-op, everyone's kind of from the same socioeconomic background. So anyway, I really like online. Grab my free 26-page How to Homeschool guide. If you haven't grabbed that already, I'm looking up because this person's on Instagram and Instagram's up there. Make sure to grab that and consider joining my group because you are the exact reason why I started the group. I don't want anyone to start homeschooling alone. I don't want anyone to feel lost. I don't want anyone to be on the internet, just in complete overwhelm, what curriculum do I buy? Because the reality is most of the ads that you see and all of that are sponsored. So it even reviews are sponsored. So it's really important that you're not lost or overwhelmed. And that's just one of the many things we do in my community. Yeah, we have another question.
Lacey says, I've recently joined your group. I love it.
Yay, Lacey! I DM'd you today. I remember. I'm so glad you joined it. I'm so glad you like it. Yay! Did you grab the Bears on Hemlock Mountain supplement yet? I hope so. That one is so good. And then right now in my group, of course, you can download and watch the Finding My Why workshop that is free to members. When you're in my community, you get workshops for free. You get supplements for free. You can DM me, all of that. Okay.
Great. Kato over on TikTok. Any suggestions for homeschooling with toddlers and babies that you don't leave alone?
Yes. So who is this? Because she needs, Hato, you need to come in close. You need to come in nice and close because I want to tell you something. All right. So homeschooling with littles, babies, toddlers, and then maybe your oldest is 5 and you're trying to teach your oldest to read. I think those are the hardest years to homeschool. And I wish that it wasn't so that a lot of moms begin their homeschooling journey with kids that little, because we often do. I did. And it's like, oh my goodness, this is so hard. So there's the first thing I want to encourage you with 2 things. And I already did with the first one, is that you need to know that it just gets easier. These are your hardest years. The second thing that is so important to know about homeschooling littles is that your oldest, or the one you're homeschooling, or want to homeschool that's a school age, is probably on the younger side. I'll get to it if your kids are older, but is probably on the younger side if they are. And their homeschool should not last a long time. Sit down time where you're scrambling. It's like if someone's napping, you just hit a 10-minute reading lesson. Lessons for that age, we're talking kindergarten, first, second, shouldn't be more than 10, 15 minutes for an entire lesson. So we're talking 10 minutes of math, 10 minutes of reading, 10 minutes of handwriting, reading out loud, alternating a beautiful piece of literature with some history, and going outside and playing. So it doesn't need to happen like all in one 2-hour block. If you're curious how much time you should spend per age, grab my free How to Homeschool guide. It's right behind me, right there. It's right there. Grab that. It's totally free. And I have a chart in there that's basically how much time per age. Now, wait, I want to encourage her. If you have littles at your knees and you have older kids can be a lot more independent with their homeschooling. So that is a benefit too. Yes. Okay.
All right. So we got a lot of great questions.
Okay, tons of great questions. Yay!
Morgan over on TikTok, I want you to hold on.
Okay, Morgan, don't go anywhere.
But we got a few people being real patient over there on Instagram.
Okay. My patient mama's on Instagram. Up there. Down here. Up there. We have... Okay, go ahead.
Nita Dean. She says, hey, we have one 4-year-old, and I'd rather homeschool my daughter. I'm just unsure as she gets older on the best curriculum and community.
Yes. And her oldest is how old right now?
One 4-year-old.
Okay, a 4-year-old. Yeah, you can absolutely do it. There is so much out there. Socialization. Is she worried about socialization, which is so absolutely a valid concern? And curriculum, yeah. So one thing that is so encouraging about the homeschool space is how much it's growing and changing. We have world-class resources at our fingertips, whether it be my Latin teacher got her degree in classical languages from Stanford. Okay, so we're not stuck with whatever teacher is teaching that thing at a school. Even private schools, you don't get to choose your teacher and you don't get to choose your curriculum. Don't think that homeschool moms are teaching AP physics. None of us are. Well, I have one friend who she is a college professor, and she probably is, but the rest of us aren't. We're not teaching AP physics. We source. So much of homeschool is about sourcing, finding amazing communities and co-ops, and there is an abundance of them. So I hope that encourages you to look into it a little more, especially if your heart is tugging at you that this is something that you want to do. Let's take a deep breath. I am not worried at all that you will find community for your daughter, and I'm not worried at all that you will be able to find a wonderful curriculum. And if rigor is what you want, you got it. If you want relaxed is what you want, you got it. Everything is out there for you. There are thousands of options. Okay.
And
Who else is being patient?
Several. So
Okay.
Instagram, hang on. Morgan, I'm starting to look into homeschool. I have 3 kiddos aged 8, 7, and 4.
Perfect.
No idea where to start.
8, 7, and 4. Those are great ages. Those are so fun. Oh my goodness. I remember the days. Your kids are 8, 7, and 4. Well, first grab my free How to Homeschool guide. And then if you're completely, just know you do not have to do this alone. There's lots of community out there for you. You can find it in your local area. You can join my membership. You are why I started my membership. I don't want any mother to feel alone in her homeschool. My membership is not only for new homeschool moms, but new homeschool moms are attracted to my membership because you guys need a mentor. You're building a house that you haven't seen the blueprints for, right? But there's a lot of us who have the blueprints, and we can help you with it. So
yeah, and she asks, where can I find your guide?
My guide is in my link tree. Just go to my link tree and grab my guide. If you want, Scott said he put up a coupon code. If you want to try out my membership, you can have $10 off your first month. Scott, boom, right here. Snow 10. Someone can write that in the comments. If you want to try the membership for $10 off the first month, you can use the coupon code SNOW10. Why? Did you do that because it's snowing today? Yeah. It's snowing today in Colorado. Ugh. This is a long winter, you guys. All right, what are the next questions?
Let's go back to Gia Canales over on Instagram.
Hi, Gia.
Home.
Yes.
Not really flexible hours. My husband doesn't, but he would like to, and we both want to homeschool our toddler, at least not having to spend so many hours in school.
Yes, I don't blame you. And you have time to kind of work on your schedules and homeschooling. Well, one, I wouldn't do anything until your child's 3 and then do 2 years of gentle preschool. You know, rushing academics, there's studies show that does not, I'm not saying you're doing that. I just want to help everybody here listening. Rushing academics in the preschool years, there have been studies done on it and it backfires. It does not make your kids smarter later. It does not make them more ahead later. The outcomes are actually worse academically for kids who are put in rigorous programs early. So I'm not against rigor. I'm quite a rigorous homeschooler myself, but I am not a fan of rigor in preschool. We should be playing. Our kids should be playing. Yeah.
Dirty Sanchez says over on Instagram.
Hi.
From Austin, Texas. Have 3 kids, 2 still in school. We're new to homeschooling and we're starting next year.
Yay! Awesome. I'm so glad you're here. What's your question tonight? I'm here for you.
Gina Bree says, I just joined your group and I'm looking for suggestions on curriculum for my 5th and 9th grader.
For your 5th and 9th grader. Did you put it in the threads?
I work full time and
Yes.
I'm trying to find a good balance.
Okay, if you work full time, you're probably going to be doing a mixture. So put it in the threads. In Thrive, say, hey, I'm a working homeschool mom. I have a 5th grader and a 9th grader, and I kind of like I don't know what philosophy you like, Charlotte Mason or something else, and put it in the threads because we have a lot of working moms in the community. And then you can also make sure to DM me. I was up to date as of 3 p.m. today. So if you DM'd me after 3 p.m., I won't be able to check it again until tomorrow. But I check my DMs every day. You'll get your question answered. We'll help you. Don't worry. Yes.
Okay. Victoria C. Rollins, I think. I want to start homeschooling my son and daughter next year, but my spouse can't stand the idea. What can I do to help change his mind?
Okay, yes, this is a very real question. What do you do when your spouse is not on board? Well, the first thing, I'm going to answer this question with the assumption that you're in a healthy marriage with a fairly decent spouse. Okay. I know, right? Like, you guys know what I'm saying. And if this is the case, which it probably is, I hope it is, that your spouse's concerns are based in fears that are very real to him. You are a female, so I'm assuming your spouse is a male. So, are very real. And it's really important that you listen, so that you write down your fears, your concerns, all of that, and that you walk through them together. That is the first thing. Because often when we verbalize our fears and have them written down, you can say, in a non-aggressive way, say, hey, So say a concern might be socialization. Say, hey, what if we, still we're still going to do all of our sports. And what if I found a really cool co-op and this and that and the other, would that make you feel comfortable? Right. And ask your spouse, what would make you feel, yes, Jenna, DM me. Yes, absolutely. That's what I'm here for. And we can go into detail and we can go into back and forth in the membership, Gina. Okay. All right. So back to the spouse. So one, listen. Both of you want what's best for your kids. So that is really important to acknowledge. The second thing that you can do is invite homeschoolers over, the ones you like, ones that you like and respect, so that your spouse can see what homeschooling kids look like, how they interact. You can ask questions of the parents. That type of a thing can be really helpful. And the third piece of advice that probably is the most significant that I'm about to give you is homeschooling doesn't have to be forever. Sometimes you can say, look, our kids are in school right now. That's what you want. I would really like to homeschool the kids. Are you open to doing a trial period? And you know what? This is for everybody. If you're scared to homeschool and you don't know if this is something that you want to do, you can try it. You can put your kids back. You can put your kids back at it, in half of a year. You can say, no, we're going to give this one full year. It's not a forever decision, and your kids will matriculate back just fine. Trust me, they will be fine. So don't hesitate to say, let's try this a year. Let's reevaluate, because I want this to be life-giving for me. I want to see if I can make you feel good about your concerns and that type of a thing. So if you want to be more specific about what you think his concerns are, we can talk about those too on the live. I'm here.
Holly said,
hi, Holly.
Can you give us the link to that early study on rigorous studies, please?
Oh,
Nuri?
that was a German study, and I don't have it off the top of my head. Yeah.
Email.
Yeah.
Okay. Adventures says, how early to start?
3. I started homeschooling my kids at 3.
Sam's Graham. Hey, Christy.
Gentle play-based.
Loved the Zoom the other night. I learned so much.
Oh.
Love the worksheets too.
Yay! Oh, so you must have done the Finding Your Why workshop, did you? Yay! Good. I'm so glad. Yeah. I helped you guys find your why, but you guys are my why. Like, seriously, this is what gives me life, is equipping and encouraging homeschool moms that you are the best person to do this. No one knows your kids as much as you. No one is as qualified as you. And with all of the resources out there, you can do a way better job than any school is doing, as academic or as non-academic as you want.
What do you do when you start around 3 years old?
So when you start preschool around 3 years old, I'm definitely of the philosophy that preschool is best if it is play-based, because kids at that age learn the best through playing, make-believe, dress up, those types of things. And you spend a lot of time outside, early reading skills, early counting. You can buy a beautiful homeschool curriculum from a lot of different companies that are play-based. Like there's Homegrown Preschooler. There's a couple other ones that are just lovely. And and have fun. Let your kid play and explore. And I think that one of the most important things to do with preschool is answer their questions. Talk about interest-led learning at its finest. Just answer their questions. Yeah.
Jessica has a great question over on TikTok.
Hi, Jessica on TikTok.
How much of science history should be done daily or weekly? We now go with the flow and it works, but I often feel we're not doing enough.
Yeah. So, Jessica, I do science and history about 2 days a week. So, and we alternate. So I like to have Fridays to be kind of relaxed. So it'll be like history Monday, Wednesday, and then science Tuesday, Thursday. We do them family together as subjects. So I have quite an age range of kids. So, in terms of like the span, and we still do it together. Now, I will say that my oldest, who is in junior high, he loves living books for history. So almost every day he's saying, can we read history, Mom? Can we read history? And he likes me to read it to him. So I do read living books out loud whenever we can. So yeah, I don't know how much you're doing, but it does not need to be every day. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Okay. Oh.
In my opinion. In my opinion, right? It's like
I'm considering homeschooling a high schooler, but I'm worried. How do I do this?
Oh my goodness. Yes. So anybody else homeschooling high school right now or considering it, can you make yourself known? Show yourselves. If you are homeschooling high school or considering homeschooling high school, do some hearts, hugs, say me, 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 me. You guys, okay, there are amazing options for homeschooling high schoolers. But if you are scared to death and the system is not working, or maybe you work full time and there's no way that you can make it work, yeah, I don't know if you guys know, but there is a brand new interest-led high school called Sora Independent School. I am amazed at what they are doing right now. So people say like the system isn't working. It's because, there's no interest-led learning or they hate learning. Sora Schools has developed this program. It's so cool. I think you can go to soraschools.com or something. And they have their classes are interest led. So you learn like physics through studying sharks or that type of thing. It is so cool what they're doing right now. And they are fully accredited. So if that's something that you're worried about, like, okay, I want to homeschool, but I'm worried about my kid going to an accredited high school or something like that. This is a way to homeschool, but have your child enrolled in a like full-time private school where they are pursuing things that are interest led. It is so cool. You can go to soraschools.com and they have virtual info sessions. I think they have several a week, but I've been getting to know them and I am so impressed with I'm really excited about what they're doing, because in the past, the only option for high school was to homeschool entirely. And I actually consider Sora Schools to be like a hybrid version of homeschooling, because your child is home, but yet your child still has tons of social interactions. There's small group learning, interactive projects. You can even do like you can formulate your own class and have a teacher that guides you through it. There are some colleges that do that too, that are just so cool. Tons of project-based learning. So if you have a high schooler right now and you're on the fence about homeschooling and you want to look at all of your options, please take a look at soraschools.com, because what they're doing is really encouraging. They are like the forerunners of what schools should be. Yeah.
I'm looking to start homeschooling my 3 kids this coming school year.
Okay.
Kinder, 2nd, and 4th. How do I start and what curriculum?
Kinder, 2nd, and 4th. So grab my free How to Homeschool guide. It's right behind me, next to the doggy. It's right there. You can get it in the link in my bio. Just click the bio. It's 26 pages. It's entirely free. It will walk you through all the steps on how to start. And then, of course, I can't not invite you to my community, because lots of brand new homeschool moms are drawn to my community. It's not only a community for there's plenty of veteran homeschool moms. I have a team of mentors that I have hired and brought in. But I will say new homeschool moms are very much attracted to my community, because you don't know what curriculum to buy. You don't know what homeschooling style you are. How do I manage all these kids and the baby and all of this? What's the best curriculum and all of that? So tonight, if you want to join, we have a coupon code, SNOW10. Someone can write it in the comments, SNOW10. And you can get $10 off your first month and give it a shot if you want to. And you can go to the link in my bio for all the details on that.
And Andrea asked, how do you spell that high school program?
Sora, S-O-R-A.
Sora Schools.
Sora Schools, yes.
Have you heard about AP tests for homeschoolers? Do the colleges actually accept those credits?
Yes, absolutely. What? Yeah. Yeah, so it's actually discriminatory to discriminate against homeschoolers. So you do not need to graduate from an accredited institution in order to go to college. Colleges are now recruiting homeschoolers because we complete college at a higher rate. I think it's almost 10%. Maybe it's like 8.5%, 9% higher rates of college completion than non-homeschoolers. So, yes. Oh, thank you. Someone's on top of it for us. Yeah, thank you for putting all this stuff. Yeah, that Sora schools, I get it. If your kid has been in the system for their whole time and you want to pull them to homeschool for high school and you're like, that's like really foreign, just check out Sora schools, see what they have to offer, because it really could be a cool thing for you. And it could redeem your child's education because it's interest-led, personalized, engaged learning, small groups, really cool teachers. Yeah.
Yeah. We got some great questions.
All right.
On TikTok.
Okay, so, TikTok.
Amber, hang on.
You
Stephanie,
and me,
me
and you. TikTok.
Let's go back to Brookie. My 3 kids are finishing out the year, but I'm homeschooling in the fall.
Woohoo, Brookie! Yay! Everyone double tap for her. Anyone else homeschooling in the fall? I just want to take a moment to encourage you. And I'm glad you're here on this live. Ask your questions. Double tap if you are, or put in the comments if you're homeschooling in the fall, and we will give you some love and taps. And because I just want you to see all these hearts so that you know that you don't have to do this alone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Stephanie says, do you have to be a teacher or a graduate in child education to be a homeschool teacher?
No, you do not have to be a teacher or a child or a graduate with a degree in education to homeschool. There are some states where you do have to have a bachelor's degree or a high school diploma. So not bachelor's degree, high school diploma. You have to check your state laws. Every state, all of our 50 states, have a different set of homeschooling laws, but homeschooling by a parent is legal in all 50 states. So absolutely. And I would argue that there is no one more qualified than a parent to teach their child. The studies show that homeschoolers perform better than conventionally schooled kids. They outscore them on the SATs by quite a bit. Think it, 70 points, if I'm remembering correctly, on the SAT-ish, around there. You can go to NARI to double check my statistics, but it's higher. And then I know for a fact it is 15 to 30% higher in the school years on standardized tests. But the kicker to that statistic is they found that the level of parent education and parent qualifications had zilch to do with those outcomes. So what that means is, regardless of who you are, if you are motivated to homeschool, nothing's going to stop you from giving your kid the best. That's what that shows me, that we are a bunch of mama bears. And even if we don't have a graduate degree in education, you know what we're going to do? We're going to find the right sources. No one knows our kid better than us. No one can pick for our kid better than us. And that's what matters. Yeah.
Okay. Stephanie Beachley, we're going to come right back to you, but we have Amber Beachley, and then we have Amber Mako. Amber Mako says, what is your experience being a homeschool mom and running a business?
Yeah, my experience being a homeschool mom, you're catching me on a bad day, girl. Being a homeschool mom and running a business is possible. And there's ups and downs, but it's mostly ups. I actually love my kids being around business decisions and hearing conversations and planning and that type of a thing. I feel like my kids are going to graduate with an MBA by the time they're done with us in high school. But yeah, it's definitely doable. You know, when you own your own business, your hours are, flexible, yes, but no, you have a lot of work to do, but still very flexible. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. Amber Beachley says, how do you find a proper curriculum?
Amber, so it all depends. There are thousands of curriculum options out there. And here's the big secret about homeschool curriculum. Most of it is really decent. Most of it gets the job done extremely well. So one thing that we do in the homeschool space is we like to ask parents and have them discover what their homeschooling style is, because there's actually 9 different pedagogies. So what you see in the public schools, that's what we call traditional style of schooling, or progressive style, public school style. You can homeschool in that style. You're homeschooling in the traditional style. But there are 8 others. There's Charlotte Mason, unschooling, classical, eclectic, interest-led, unit study. There's a lot more. Montessori, Waldorf, okay? So that's a great place to start, is kind of having a feel for what your philosophy is, what really resonates with you, and how you would like your family educated, but also what, when you study your own child, what you think is going to fit them the best. And then once you have that honed in, you can narrow down some curricula options. And so that's something we do a lot in the community. There's lots of discussions in Thrive about, I need a good Charlotte Mason curriculum for this, or I need a good secular science curriculum, or, that type of a thing. Yeah.
Samara says, hi, Christy. Recently joined
the
Thrive community. And
Hi.
So happy I did. You and the community have been such a blessing to my family already.
Thank you so much. Where is she?
She's over on YouTube.
Samara on YouTube. That's so sweet. I'm so glad you're loving it. I'm thrilled. It's a pretty great place. Yeah. If you want to join, by the way, and you are on this live tonight, for 2 hours after this live, we will have a coupon code to get $10 off your first month. The code is SNOW10, because it's snowing outside. SNOW10, but that's only going to be active for 2 hours after this live, because we just want it to be a special discount for people who've come on the live. Yeah. And maybe we didn't get to your question and you want access to me or my mentors to ask your question. So yeah, it's in my link tree. You can click the button, and then on the checkout page, you just put in SNOW10 and you'll get $10 off your first month. Yes.
Diana Med said, I would homeschool, or I would if I had multiple children or could find children for my child to play with. My child is always wanting to play with someone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We have a little group of homeschool in my community of parents of only children. My sister has an only, and you're homeschooling. How you homeschool an only child looks a lot different than if you have a big family with lots of siblings. I know quite a few families who homeschool singletons. It's absolutely possible your child can still thrive. It's going to look a little bit different than other families, but the options are available for you to give your child what he or she needs, for sure. Yeah.
Awesome.
So if your heart's tugging at you to do it, to just do a little bit more research and find all the communities out there for you. And anyone in here with an only homeschooling, please encourage her, or other parents in here who have only children that think homeschooling isn't an option for them. I'm not saying this is you, but there are a lot of families who feel like homeschooling isn't an option because you only have one child. Yeah.
Somebody said, thank you for doing this. I wish I had this available when we were homeschooling.
Oh, thank you. I'm so thrilled to be doing it. It's life-giving for me. You guys are my why. I love nothing more than encouraging you and, and reaching you guys. That's why I will always be going live. So.
Brianna says, running a business and homeschool is the perfect mix for us.
Yes. Brianna, are we friends?
Yeah, you know that, Brianna.
Yeah, okay. So I'm like, which Brianna?
Okay. 6th grade math. Any suggestions?
6th grade math, yes. So I don't know, are you a more spiral or a more mastery person? And do you know what that means? Would you like me to discuss spiral math versus mastery math? I can discuss spiral versus mastery. I'll wait for the comments. You want to go back to her?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, great.
If you want to, I don't have to. Sometimes I nerd out a little bit with like philosophy talk, but.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. Tell me about, what was that high school for the test prep, the SAT and ACT prep? What company was that you liked?
Oh, that was College Prep Genius. I really like them. Don't we have a coupon? Email me. Don't go buy it. Email me. You can get my email in my link tree. I think we have a coupon for College Prep Genius.
Kyla, how do you find the best curriculum?
Kyla, how do you find the best curriculum? What a great question. So that question to me, it's like, I want to take you to Starbucks and I want to buy you a coffee and I want to sit with you. And I want to ask you, what do you want for your kids? Because the best curriculum is the one that helps you achieve your goals for your children. And one that you all enjoy. One that ignites a love for learning. One that you all like doing. So it's such a fascinating discussion to have when someone says, what's the best curriculum? Like there's this one magic curriculum out there. There are thousands of options, which I know that leads to a lot of overwhelm, but there's thousands of options for a reason, right? Because if you want to homeschool in the traditional style, which keeps your kids like at the same clip as the public schools, then there's a whole set of curricula options for that. If you really want to ignite a love for learning and you want your kids to just love literature and think about literature and have wonderful discussions, you're probably more of kind of a Charlotte, or you like to be outside and go on nature walks and still learning a ton, but doing that kind of stuff. You might be more of a Charlotte Mason homeschooler. So yeah, that's something that I did a workshop on, overcoming curriculum overwhelm. I'm probably going to refilm it, make it just available to, I just did it live in my community, but I think I want to like polish it up and do another version of it to put out there. Yeah.
Jenny said, Jenny, we're going to get to you. Amber,
Jenny, we're going to get to you.
Do you know of any of the speakers or exhibitors going to the South Carolina Homeschool Convention this weekend?
Are you going? Are you going? Wait, are you in my community? Yes. I do know speakers that will be there. Yeah. My really good friend, Colleen Kessler, will be there. Please go to one of her workshops. She's a rock star. She's standing room only. Man, she's amazing. She specializes in homeschooling differently wired, or she likes to say quirky kids. So she's absolutely fabulous and people flock to her. Of course, go see some of the classical guys that'll be there. I'm sure Christopher Perrin will be there. Yeah, I like hearing that guy speak. Yes.
Jeannie says, where can we find a list of the different curriculums and description?
You can go to kathyduffy.com. Someone write that down. Okay. kathyduffy.com is a really great resource to sift through all the homeschool curricula options, try to find your priorities. Yes. Hey, do I know you, Amber? Like, do I know you personally? Like, could it be like Christy says to say hi? Or no, is that like awkward because you and I don't know each other? I can't tell by usernames, but like, if I knew you, I'd be like, give her a hard time. But that would be so weird if I didn't know you and you walked up to her and said, anyway, yeah, I'm being a dork.
How do I teach a 5-year-old how to read?
Oh, how do you, okay, who's struggling? How do you teach a 5-year-old how to read who is struggling? Okay, so the first thing that's the most important is that you need to make sure that whatever curriculum you are using to teach your child to read, it needs to be an Orton Gillingham-based curriculum. So that would be something like Logic of English, All About Reading, Pinwheels by Rooted in Language, one of those. So, and if you are concerned, it's a little bit early to be concerned, but if you do have concerns, then eventually you might want to consider having your child evaluated. But at 5, I would first make sure that you have an actual good curriculum and walking through it. Logic of English is great because the lessons can be video where the maker of the expert herself is teaching your child how to read. amazing, right? Especially if you're feeling a little bit insecure about it. So highly recommend.
Ooh, talk about what's coming up.
I don't even know her, by the way.
Talk about the panel.
Oh my goodness. Yes. You guys, on April 5th, I'm doing a panel of homeschool graduates. I have 5 homeschool graduates, all homeschooled in a variety of styles, and we're going to be interviewing them and asking them questions. I'm really excited. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Gina says, we switched curriculum so many times. Definitely interested in seeing that video, Curriculum Overwhelm.
Yes. Yeah, this is Gina.
Over on Instagram.
I know. I have a curriculum dungeon in my basement. I don't even have the energy to try to resell all that stuff. Yeah, I get it. It can be really hard. Yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of money, right? And so that's one thing. I feel like a lot of people, and the one you would benefit from my workshop, because it's so easy to get into this rut of like, this curriculum isn't working, and what to do first. I go into what to do first before you can it and buy something new and spend a ton of money on something new. Try these things first, and then if you tried all these things, blah 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 blah, and then here's the time to quit. Here's the time to find something new. But yeah, I get it, girl. I get it.
Tina says, I want to homeschool, but hubby isn't on board.
Yes. I was just talking about 20 minutes ago. When your husband isn't on board, there's a few things that you can do. I usually mention 3 main ones, and that is to make sure that you listen to your spouse and maybe even have him and you write down pros and cons of homeschooling so you can really get to what his fears are. Because generally speaking, is your spouse wants what's best for you and the kids. And so he just has a lot of fears, and he's not convinced that homeschooling is that yet. So with an open mind, right? Not in a non-manipulative way, write down pros and cons, fears, and just have a really good discussion about it. Because sometimes what seem as really, really big fears are not that big at all. Like one of them is missing prom, right? One, we have homeschool proms. They're everywhere, every spring, everywhere. And 2, so what? Right? How much did you really love your prom? Like, do you think it's going to ruin your adulthood and your kids will resent you forever if they missed prom? Or will you have offered them other more amazing opportunities because they were homeschooled? So yeah, do you have a different school experience when you homeschool than kids in public school? Yes. Yes, you do. Is it better or worse? No, it's not. It's different. I would argue that you can provide a better childhood and a better schooling experience for your children through homeschool. But, some people would disagree. But even down to sports, we can still do all the sports. So, yeah.
Antoinette says, would you or should you ever let your kids choose to go back to public school if they want to?
Yeah, would I? It was, would I or should you? Yeah, I am. Okay, that is such a loaded question. I love it. I love being put in the hot seat like that. So, thank you. I think it's actually a worthy question because we want to honor our kids as the human beings that they are. We want to honor them. We want to listen to them. We want them seen. We want them heard. At the same time, they have not been on earth that long, right? A 9-year-old has only been on earth 9 years. You've been on earth a lot more. So I think discussions are healthy. I also think when you are homeschooling, talking about during your homeschooling process, all the amazing things that homeschooling is and can provide that are not available to kids who are in schools. Like we can go on field trips all the time. Growing up, we went on 1 field trip a year, right? Homeschoolers go on field trips all the time, that type of a thing. I think case by case, as kids get older, junior high, high school, and they just like, no, I really want to go to school. I absolutely would listen, have the discussion. I have a friend who sent her child to school and they did not last very long at school. They wanted to come home, but they wanted to experience it. And so there are some kids that maybe they need to experience it to believe it. There are some kids who maybe would never want to be. The guy that I pre-interviewed today, because he's going to be on the panel, I asked him, I'm like, when were you in the schools at all? And he's like, yeah, I was conventionally schooled till 4th grade. And I hated it for the first year. I fought my mom. And then after that first year, I realized that I loved this. And he said, growing up, my mom at times felt like quitting. And we were like, we don't want to go back to school. We want to stay. So I think it really depends on the kid. It depends on the family. It depends on a lot of things. Yeah. But ultimately, to be very direct with answering your question, I do not think that a young child is equipped with enough information to make the decision for him or herself as to what is the best schooling option for them. I'm going to be very direct with my answer with that. I think that is our responsibility. Yes. So,
how much does your group cost?
$37 a month. I over-deliver. It's on Mighty Networks. I talked to them and they were like, oh, you offer way more than the gal who runs it. Because I work circles around her and charge less per month. But you know what? I actually think she overcharges. So whatever. But I show up 7 times on Zoom. We offer a free supplement every single month. I am available for DMs. We go back and forth on DMs whenever you need to. I have a hired team of mentors in there. It's a safe, non-judgy community. If you want to find out more about it, click the button in my bio. And for 2 hours after this live, 2 hours only, that you can use the coupon code SNOW10 and you'll get $10 off your first month. So, yes. But don't ask for, no, this is just for people that are, it's meant to be, if you were on the live, we spent time together, maybe I didn't answer your question fully. This is not, like, don't say like, oh, tomorrow, don't email us and say, I want that discount. Like, this is just for the 2 hours after the live. Yeah.
Milana says these shootings are absolutely wanting to make me pull and not to mention stop subbing.
Oh, yeah. I get it. Yeah.
Let's see. Sandy02, what can I expect for the cost to homeschool one child starting in kinder?
Yes. So the average cost to homeschool a child is between $700 and $1,500 per year. So I would expect that for multiple children. You save the teacher guides, you reuse curriculum, that type of a thing. Most people find, especially if they've been in the public schools and they homeschool, that it's pretty much a wash when it comes to PTA and that type of a thing. It's also a lot less of a headache. To me, time is money. So, like, the fact that I don't have to do all these crazy volunteer hours at PTAs and stuff, like, I count that. But no, you can homeschool for free. You can use curricula like K-12 or Easy Peasy. You can homeschool for free. This is what I will say. Most people that start with those free programs don't last forever on them. You end up buying curriculum. So, absolutely. No, because we are not, the entire purpose of my community is to feed and nurture you, because you are spending all day giving to your family, working your patootie off. Who's going to feed you? That's where I come in. So the supplement that we give every month is designed to breathe life into your homeschooling and to help you have connection with your kids. So let me give you an example, because it is sometimes curriculum. So this month we had Bears on Hemlock Mountain reading and activity guide. It's kind of the time of year where we get a little bit burnt out. We get tired of our curriculum. And so we decided, hey, we want to give families a week off. So what we did is based on that wonderful book that is an absolute classic that should be in every library, home library anyway, but we wanted to make sure it was also a book that you could get at the library for free. It is a 5-day study that incorporates all the subjects, science, art, history, all of it, to do with all of your kids together as a family. We're talking preschool to high school. And it was just like a week of just interactive, lovely, wonderful learning based on you reading that book out loud. So, is that a full-blown kindergarten curriculum? No. It's more of like in the unit study style to breathe life into your homeschooling. Like another one of the deliverables another month was the Homeschool Mom's Survival Guide. It was like tons and tons of pages of what to do when you're sick, with like links and ideas and stuff that you can have your kids do when you have a sick day or you're down and out. So yes, so it is not I do not sell curriculum. I do not write curriculum.
Canesa says, what book was it?
Bears on Hemlock Mountain. Yes. And you don't have to join the group. You can buy the study on my store. You don't have to join the group to get it. All of the stuff that I make for the group that the group gets free, you can buy on my store. Like individually, right? Yes. If you're interested in my group, for 2 hours after this live, you can use the coupon code SNOW10. Someone can write it in the comments, and you can get $10 off your first month for just 2 hours after this live. Yeah.
Patricia says, I want to thank you for this. My baby is too young, 21 months, but I just got your free guide. Thank you.
Yay, Patricia. I'm so glad. Yay, you got my free guide. Awesome.
That's good. Oh, somebody asked, Sarah over on Instagram, any
Hi,
advice
Sarah.
for a public school teacher looking for a change?
Yes, I know, right? I get it, girl. A lot of the options are going to be you giving up your benefits, like being an out school teacher or something like that. So, but yeah, I mean, there's tons of options for you to use your skills and everything that you know. There's big organizations that are running cottage schools and micro schools. You can reach out to them and see what kind of job opportunities they have.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I shouldn't be in a rolly chair because here I'm like, I just can't stop moving.
How do I keep my kids from fighting when I'm homeschooling?
Oh, girl.
5 and 7.
Girl! When I find out, I'll let you know. How do I keep my kids from fighting when we're homeschooling? Yeah. We've done several things. But ultimately, I believe in terms of just my parenting style is that making sure our kids are seen and heard and the relationship is the most important. It trumps everything else, and not only my relationship with my kids, but their relationship with one another, and training my kids to have healthy boundaries with even how they're spoken to. And so yeah. I don't want to go into like parenting philosophy so deep, but I also think there's elements of that is totally normal. I think that it can get out of control and it can be, abusive. So we got to make sure that, right? Like if you were an adult and you would be arrested for that type of behavior, that, we address that in the home. But overall, we have an expectation in our house of speaking kindly to one another and setting boundaries, and we do a lot of training on what that boundary setting looks like. Like I don't like the way you're speaking to me, that hurts my feelings, that type of thing. Just talking about emotions and stuff. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
We're getting close to the end here.
All right, we're getting close to the end. A couple more questions. Don't go anywhere. Let's save the best for last.
S&P says, should I pull my kids from the umbrella school program to just being an independent homeschooler?
What state are you in? Yeah. Oh, wait. Tell me what state you're in. It depends how, okay, so let me just talk in general, because there's people in all different states here. So it might be easier to stay under the umbrella. It might be really complicated to homeschool outside of the umbrella. Something that you can do, it's easier for me in Colorado to homeschool with an umbrella. Okay, but I don't know what state you live in. It might be beneficial for you to hop on some homeschool Facebook groups, like just the free ones, and ask people what it's like for them outside of an umbrella and within an umbrella. But I generally like the legal protection and the accountability of homeschooling under an umbrella. But the umbrella that I use is very loosey-goosey because Colorado laws are pretty favorable towards homeschoolers. There are regulations for us, but they're not too crazy. All right.
Cool. Let's see, Mandy. 4 and 5-year-old who seem to be on the same level. Do you recommend I start them both on K curriculum?
Sure. Give it a shot. You know, the younger one may be at a different pace, and you might find that your younger one is not cognitively ready for some of the things. But you absolutely can do that to make it easier. I will tell you, though, that you'd be surprised how different kids are. I have twins, and my twins can't be in the same curriculum, and they're certainly not on like the same page every day. And one of the reasons why I want to homeschool is so my kids can learn at their own pace, stay on a topic until they fully understand it. So even though I have twins, they really are different. So, but I will say I make every effort to see if I can keep them so I only have to teach a lesson once. I do try to do that, and that's absolutely a strategy, and lots of people do it. Yes, you definitely do history together, science together. When it comes to the math and maybe the teaching reading with a year apart like that you might have to separate them, but I would absolutely give it a shot. Yes. All right, guys. It's been a lovely evening. Oh, good. Someone else has twins. Woohoo. Nice. All right. Don't forget Snow 10 if you want $10 off your first month in my membership. See if it's a fit for you first. It's not a fit for everybody. You can go to my link tree. It's not a social club. That's not why I started it. So check out what it is before you join. And the coupon code is SNOW10. We'll keep that live for 2 hours after this live because it's really just for people that were here tonight with me. I try to go live twice a week if I can. And I'm looking forward to the next time I get to see you. If you didn't get your question answered, email me, or I can see you in the membership. And I appreciate you guys. I'm glad I spent some time with you tonight. Okay. Adios.